Hi guys, so this is a tutorial about how to set up your Works Cited page and format it with the hanging indent. Keep in mind this is exactly what I showed you in class as well, but if you got home or got to the point in which you were doing your Works Cited and you realized that you completely forgot everything that we discussed, or if you could not see properly on the overhead screen, this is a way in which to see it more clearly on a desktop computer. So this is the same document that I had up on the board earlier this afternoon. Okay. Up top here, I do have like the final words of my essay. So this is the final sentence in my conclusion paragraph. After the sentence, I will drop down 3 lines before I begin my works cited area. Now, this is just to save paper. If you can tag it onto the same page as your final paragraph, fantastic. If, however, it does not fit all the way, feel free to shove it over to an extra page. It's fine. It just happens where a lot of times we have all this extra space that we can use rather than just using up more paper. So if you can fit, fantastic, and definitely make use of that. Otherwise, if you go down 3 spaces, so 3 spaces down, 3 enter buttons, we are going to do our works cited first. So odds are whenever you come down, you are going to still be left aligned because that's exactly what is set up for your paragraph. So we'll type in works cited. However, we need to make sure that this is centered. Rather than hitting the tab button a couple times, we're going to come right up here to our alignment options and we're going to select center align. Doing that will make sure that it is completely centered. This is the same exact thing you will do with your titles to make sure that they are placed correctly with the formatting. Underneath that, I have 3 entries when it comes to my works cited page. So the first one I have is a book called The All-American Boys. I have my authors first, my book title, and then I have the publisher of the book, followed by the publishing date. That's my first entry. My second entry is going to also be a book. And this one, or sorry, this is going to be a speech. And this is from Theodore Roosevelt. And it's called The All-American Boy. That's the title of the piece. And then I have the date of the speech was given. Underneath that is my third and final source, and that's The All-American Boy. This is going to be an article from my website. Therefore, I have the title of the website first. I had no author for this one. I had the name of the website. And because the name of the website and the name of the publisher are the same, I don't bother adding it in. Instead, I just move on to the date that it was published. After that, I do have the URL, okay, followed by the date of access, which was the 16th of January, 2017. Now, the nice thing is with these 2 up here, I don't go down to a second line. Therefore, I do not need to have it hanging indent. However, down here, I do. There's 2 ways of doing this. One I find a lot easier than the other. And depending on your sources, it's going to be easier to do it my way. The first way that I do it and the way that I see is faster is simply just to write all my source information and then highlight all of the entries. Okay. By doing that, I can come up here to my ruler and I can start manipulating where my lines begin. Up here, I do actually have a triangle that's blue and a rectangle right above it. If I grab onto the triangle and click and drag, I do get a chance to move it wherever I would like onto my ruler. I even have a little blue line that shows me where things will end up. I need to move it right here, halfway between the 0 and the 1. And then I'm going to release. When I do that, it's going to shove everything over. Now, this is the first step to my hanging indent. My first line when it comes to my hanging is going to have to go all the way back over to be in line with my paragraph. So I need to go back to left align. In order to make sure my indent stays, I need to just click on the rectangle while leaving my triangle alone. When I move just the rectangle, my triangle doesn't go with it. It stays put. So my rectangle is going to come all the way back here to the 0 mark, which is going to be where the paper ruler meets the gray and white. And it should be nice and aligned with my paragraphs right above. So you can see that it's in line with this and before. Once I'm there, I'm going to release. And now my works cited page has been completely set up in MLA format. I now have my great little hanging indent for my second line. And if I had any other sources that fell onto 2 or 3 or even 4 lines, it would have automatically moved those as well for myself. Now, there is another way in which to do this. However, especially later on, once we get into papers with a lot more sources, it just becomes a hassle. You can also do, though, so I'm back to left align. You can also do just the shift, enter, tab. So on your keyboard, if you hold down shift and you click enter, and then you hit tab once, it will slide things over for you. This, however, especially when you have a lot of sources or if there's weird formatting issues, can become a little tricky because if you accidentally tab twice, you send it over too much. Some people accidentally tab this way and then it really starts messing things up. So I find that using the ruler does make things just easier, especially since I can get everything done with a couple clicks rather than going through each and every one of my sources and having to do them individually. So simply just moving the ruler around a little bit is going to make it so much better for formatting your works cited sheet with the hanging indent. If you do have any questions, feel free to send me an email. Otherwise, I also have posted an example works cited page. That way you can reference that as well whenever you are checking your own. Good luck.